Hello, this is Tom for Tabletop Tap Room, and we're reporting on a little development and asking the question of what is the difference. In the recent news, you've all heard, no doubt, that Erik Tenkar has been slapped with a cease and desist order by new TSR Justin Lanasa, alleging libel and taking him to court. Now, there's a lot of funny things with that lawsuit. Number one, it was filed in federal court. For you to file in federal court, you have to have $75,000 worth of damages. And there's no way. I mean, let's just be generous and let's assume, yes, let's play, hypothetical here. Let's say it's true and correct that Erik did this. There's no way there's $75,000 in damages. In fact, one of the things we've been puzzling about was we found out that Ernie allegedly refused to sign an affidavit for Justin. The affidavit involved a claim that Ernie saw Justin deliver 1,000 copies of Dungeon Crawl to the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum during TSRCon, and Ernie refused to sign this because it was a lie. It's not true. So it looks to me, I'm going to say, let's connect the dots, that 1,000 Dungeon Crawl at selling at $60-$70 gets him, 1,000 times 70 gets him almost all the way to $75,000 worth of damages. And so I think that is the play here that is going on with Justin. He was attempting to manufacture, it looks like he was attempting to manufacture evidence in support of his case against Erik. Now, his case against Erik is a SLAPP lawsuit, SLAPP. It's a strategic litigation against public participation. These were lawsuits that, like a rich person could do if they were a developer and somebody was, reporting, a news guy was reporting, somebody was criticizing, showing up meetings and criticizing them at zoning board meetings, that type of thing. I'll sue him for libel. Well, the rich guy's got deep pockets, so he can drop the $3K, $5K, $10K to retain a lawyer. And, just a regular citizen, John Q. Public doesn't necessarily have the deep pockets to fight it in court. It was to gag people. And so this whole idea of strategic litigation against public participation, laws began to be passed to look, if you're caught, if the court decides that you did bring this lawsuit for that very reason, you're paying legal fees, treble damage, various laws, various states on the books. And New York State, Governor Cuomo, right before he left office under a cloud, signed new SLAPP legislation for New York. Now, what's interesting is that the filing is in federal court, but it's in the district there in New York. And that district, that federal court, actually has endorsed, as I've read, trying to educate myself on this, has kind of endorsed the SLAPP legislation, that they will honor it. That's the law here, and we will honor it. It's not federal law, but we will honor it here in our district because we're in New York. That's how I'm reading it. It looks like they filed in the wrong venue, but in order to file there, it looks like it looks like they were trying to manufacture evidence, particularly with this claim of 1,000 dungeon crawls. And, but it doesn't make any sense, because if you had 1,000 dungeon crawls and you sold them out, then nothing Erik did actually stopped you from actually getting them sold. You sold them despite Erik. You probably sold them because of Erik reporting on you. People looking into it, right? So it doesn't make any sense. But there never was 1,000, and so there's no evidence of it other than that which has been manufactured or attempted to be manufactured. So you've got Erik's case. It's not valid. It's going to fail. Erik will prevail. He'll get his money back in the end. He'll get his legal fees back in the end. So on the one hand, this is a invalid lawsuit, and Erik's going to prevail, but it's going to take the intestinal fortitude to crawl through the muck of the court system. Okay. Now, Erik's covered this new C&D this weekend. This new C&D is against GamersonGames. And now the C&D leaked, and I actually knew about it before it mailed and before it leaked. I had not seen it. Victor didn't actually leak it to me. I got it from somebody who's fairly active on Twitter. But it did leak, and I read it the weekend, but I was largely staying away. Friday, Saturday, I was largely staying away from social media, just trying, not doing any videos, just trying to stay away from social media, focus more on the family. So the C&D leaked this weekend, the C&D that's going from Victor Dorso and DaveCon against Dave Simpson, Dave Nighthawk Simpson, GamersonGames, for libel and for tortuous interference with a contract. Now, what's the difference? I'm sitting here going, the C&D against Tenkar, bad, gonna fail. C&D against Dave Simpson, good, gonna succeed. Am I being a hypocrite? No. The problem with Dave Simpson is he kind of crossed some lines. He wasn't just reporting facts. He wasn't just, doing commentary. He was actively trying to destroy and tear down a convention. So much so that he was calling the vendors and telling them, your organizer is and I'm going to borrow a page from RPG Pundit here, was calling him, except it's not Yahtzee the game, it's Yahtzee, a word standing in for a N-word that rhymes with Yahtzee, if you catch my drift. We're just going to stay away from that word in case I get flagged for it. So he was, and this is, I'd never heard the term before, tortuous interference with a contract. These vendors have supplied a deposit. They have a contract. There is a contract in place. Even if it's not inked and written, it's an implied contract because of money changing hands. Speak of the devil. Hello, Victor.
My name's Dave Simpson. Cover up all the evidence. Don't drive it. You'll never see it now.
So, Victor, it's funny that you should call me at this time. I'm actually recording a video about your C&D.
Oh, wonderful!
And so you're being recorded right now, and I'm throwing up on a screen Simpson's video channel there, GamersonGames, and he has nuked all of his videos going back 7 months. Now, do you think this is going to help him succeed in this this proposed lawsuit you're proposing against him with your cease and desist?
Nothing. No, nada, zilch, zero, that.
So
covering up is not going to do any good, because if my attorney deems so, he will subpoena YouTube, Google, Twitter, Instagram. They'll just subpoena them, and they will turn everything over.
And I have now learned from somebody who's been heavily involved in social media that they're required by law to, even if you delete something, they got to save it for a year. You know, it's an anti-terrorism thing. So even if you've deleted it, and then you do something bad, the FBI can go back and say, we want the stuff, all the stuff he's deleted. So even your deleted stuff is still there. And some platforms actually keep it longer than a year. So even if he's deleted it, I mean, because the assumption here is that he's just made it private, so he can maintain the watch hours and the likes and the views.
No, that's okay, because screenshots have been taken, videos have been recorded, and there are other people around that have taken a vested interest in this and have also been monitoring both sides of the legal proceedings. So, you know, that's all I'm going to say about that. You know, it's just I gave him a couple chances to talk to me in private, and in one of those conversations, I said, "Do I need to send you a cease and desist order?" He chose to ignore me, and now we have what we have.
So there's two arrows to this letter. There's the libel, and then there's the tortuous interference with contract. Now, I'm not a legal scholar, lawyer, or anything like that, but I happen to think that the tortuous interference with a contract is the much more cut and dried. Now, am I mistaken in my understanding that in your state there's treble damages or 3 times damages for torturous interference with a contract?
I believe that is correct.
So, and in light of, Dave just recently doing a fundraiser to get his viewers to buy him a new computer, do you anticipate that he's going to be able to retain a lawyer and fight you in court?
He may try if he wishes. I mean, I wish him luck. The evidence is against him currently.
Well, I think that's mighty generous of you to wish him luck. I don't know that I would.
Well, I mean, let's be truthful about this. There are numerous, and I mean numerous, people around who have recorded his videos and screenshot his libelous behavior. So there really isn't, there really isn't any doubt on what he's done. So, I mean, what can I say? Well, I'm not going to say anything more than that.
I have 2 more questions for you, because I think the smart play on Dave's part it would be to settle with you.
Well, yes, it would be within his. It would be how do we want to say this? It would be very. It would be in his best interest to call my lawyer and talk to him. Don't talk, Greg. I don't want him calling me. Nope. You said enough that I no longer wish to talk to him. It's in his best interest to call my lawyer, talk to my lawyer, find out my very generous terms from my lawyer. I mean, we're talking very generous terms. I mean, most people would not give these type of terms, no matter what, and be done with this, So, what can I say?
Okay, well that was question number one. I was wondering if you were willing to settle, or if you were determined to push forward, and so you've answered that. The other thing is what the show had.
Hold it. Tom,
What?
this has a time expiration.
Oh, it's.
I'm not a fool. You understand?
There's a ticking clock.
There's always a ticking clock. I likened this to the guy a drug runner coming up from Colombia. He's hailed a couple times by the Navy or the Coast Guard. Stop your boat. And instead of stopping the boat, the person keeps pushing on and on and on. The CMD letter was a shot across the bow to say, stop or else.
Or the drug runner actually shoots back at the Coast Guard.
Well, yeah.
Which will not go well.
Yes. This is I liken it to that type of a situation.
Yeah.
You have shot the Navy has now shot its cannon across the bow of your dinky little boat, and you have a choice. Stop, or you're going to get blown up. And no matter what, those packages of drugs, or AKA your packages of hate that he's thrown out there, are going to be found.
Yeah. Now I heard. Well, actually, I want to get to what I was really covering with this video was the difference between Erik Tenkar's C&D letter and your C&D letter that you're sending to Dave. But it's as you see it. I mean, because there could be somebody out there who would be like, well, you guys act like the letter against Erik was not good and it's going to fail. And, and now you're saying like this C&D letter against Dave Simpson is good and it's going to prosper. I don't get it. Is there any hypocrisy here for us, looking one way at one and one way and another way at the other? What is the essential difference here between the two cases as you understand it?
All right. One is federal court, the other is state. Just so everybody's got that difference in mind there.
Yes, I covered that a little bit.
The second one is that, how do I want to say this? The federal one, I don't think should have ever been filed. I don't think there is a what do you want to call that?
Standing.
I don't think it's the right jurisdiction. That's how I want to say. I don't think it's the right jurisdiction for a case like that. And I think it was just meant to shut up. I think it was meant to shut up Mr. Tenkar over the WOTC lawsuit. Oh, no. I'm shutting up Mr. Simpson because of his very blatant behavior of calling people Yahtzee.
We're using the term Yahtzee for the video so we don't get a strike.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that was one of those.
I'm borrowing the term from RPG Pundit.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was a non grata term.
Yeah, I don't know if I would get a strike. I'm just being cautious.
Right. Well, you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
Is that using that terminology and not knowing the person that you're using it against can lead to a more serious problem.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Now, actually, since you you actually kind of reminded me of this, that federal court might be a wrong venue. We all think that on the face of it, but a thought occurred to me that I heard a rumor, and maybe you can comment on this, that Ernie had refused to sign an affidavit, and the subject of that affidavit was that he had witnessed Justin Lanasa delivering 1,000 copies of Dungeon Crawl to the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum during TSRCon, and that, Ernie says, I'm not signing something that's a lie. But if this is true, this rumor is true, the price on Dungeon Crawl is like what, $60-70? So 1,000 copies times 70 would be $70,000. My understanding is that pursuing libel in federal court means damages in excess of $75,000. So I think maybe there might be something to that original rumor concerning Ernie and those supposed 1,000 copies of Dungeon Crawl. That might have been an attempt to manufacture evidence in court against Erik.
I have no idea on the manufacturing evidence stuff. I think, like I said, and I'll repeat it here now, I think that the case against Erik is just an attempt to suppress evidence and cause Mr. Tenkar to quiet Mr. Tenkar so that he doesn't appear in court to testify against or send evidence to WOTC from whatever sources he may have. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I think the ship has sailed on Erik sending information to Wizards of the Coast lawyers.
Well, and here's the thing I think about that too, is that I think the sources of the information have already been in contact with WOTC, and everything that Mr. Tenkar has, minus probably maybe a few little tidbits here and there that might have been found out, have already are in the hands of WOTC.
Yeah. I'm reasonably certain that most of the sources that Erik has have probably already contacted the lawyers or publicly published the information they had against New TSR. And so all of that information is in the hands of Wizards of the Coast lawyers, either through N-World or through public posts on other social media. But primarily, we suspect that there are legal interns who constantly monitor N-World.
Well, I'm sure that too. I'm sure that there's that, and that's why I'm saying what I said. I mean, it's like this is a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think in that case, and I'm no legal scholar, and I'll admit that, but I've read a few law books in my day, and I don't practice as an attorney. My thinking is that the everything that's going to be presented in the WOTC lawsuit, as proven as true, will come back and be used inside the Erik Tenkar, Justin Lanasa lawsuit, and it will be public information, which is, because right now it's semi-private or sort of somewhat private. It will turn out to be a boondoggle on Mr. Lanasa's part to make this happen.
Yeah.
Because once the evidence is out there, it's done. Once it goes through a federal court, it's almost got the fact stamp of this has to be real. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
Well, it's a boondoggle. That is certainly the word for what is going on with Lanasa and New TSR. And it's it's going to be interesting to watch what plays out with your C&D. Now, how long does Dave have to respond to the C&D?
I would say, and I'm being generous in this. I think if he doesn't have a phone call into my lawyer by next Monday, I think we'll start drawing more paperwork up.
Sure. So this won't drag out like the WotC lawsuit with Lanasa.
No, I won't let it drag out that far. I sort of want it in court and done by DaveCon.
Now,
to tell you the truth,
have any of your vendors that have been interfered with, have any of your vendors pulled out?
No, that's because they called me, and I have personally talking to each of them, either on the phone or in person, and they know my character
Right.
far more than far better than Mr. Simpson. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah, I would be, through our friendship, I would be very surprised for you to ever come out with anything remotely racist, white supremacist, or Yahtzee. Unless we're playing the dice game, then you can yell Yahtzee if you get it.
Hard evidence, and you better have uncompromising hard evidence. And by Mr. Simpson hiding all his videos and his Twitter stuff, it doesn't make a hill beans a difference. You know this as well as I do, because if a lawyer requests it from those companies, what will happen is that they will turn it over because it's not worth their fight. It is actually, it's going to be far cheaper for them to just put every video on a disc and fire it off to a lawyer than it is going to be for to sit there and fight it in court.
Right. Yeah, the least resistance for them is the route they'll go.
Right.
It happens routinely that they get subpoenaed, they produce the information.
Right. And that'd be the same with it's like you can only fight it so long, and then then a judge will just say, "No, we're done," and they will make the order.
Yeah.
A subpoena is one way, but the next step is an order from a judge, and they will not ignore an order from a judge. There's no way.
Okay.
There's not even.
Well, I'm going to do a sign out here. Stay on the phone a second. We'll talk after I shut down the recording. So thanks for coming on the show. I mean, I really didn't expect you. Well, I kind of did expect you to call me today. I didn't expect you to call while I was recording, but this worked out well. And I want to thank you for being on the show. And we'll have to do it again with you on video actually next time.
Okay.
And maybe we can talk about DaveCon. We talk about something positive instead of some of this negative stuff. But this is Tom for Tabletop Taproom. I want to thank you for watching the videos. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. Help me build the channel. But until then, keep on gaming.